There we go. Got you back online. How's everybody doing tonight? I figured I'd do a surprise broadcast on a Wednesday night just for the heck of it. We kind of ended abruptly the other night on Monday. I think it was Monday. Yeah, it was Monday. And I had started a little project over on the, let's see if I can get a good view of it here. I started a project on the BitMiner plug down here. I could probably zoom in on that too a little bit. And it turned out really good. And we put this, well, I can get that better picture than that. There we go. We put this cable in here. Gosh, dog, there's things all over the place in the way. Sorry about this, guys. You know how live TV is, though. It's always a mess. I got charge inverter wires running and everything. And this is what we're going to be cleaning up tonight, is some of these cables and stuff. So never fear. We will get some of it out of the way. We will clean other parts of it up. But anyway, this was a really interesting connection. So what we did here is, and if you haven't watched that live stream, you probably want to go back and watch it at some point. I'm just going to quickly go in here so I can turn that BitMiner off because it is noisy as all get out. But we took the 220 plug and we routed it into this box down here. And in this box is a relay that allows me to turn off and on the BitMiner with a home assistant, basically. And I hope I can show you the home assistant here. Let me see if I can get it up on the screen, get you a view of it anyway. Oh, you know what? I could share the screen. What am I talking about? We'll just do a screen share here. And should be able to go over this one and go over to Home Assistant. There we are. So Home Assistant, I don't know if I got a screen here. Oh, I do. I got a copy of the plug down there too. So Home Assistant, you can see here, I've got the two charge inverter relays that we talked about before that turn on these systems and discharge these batteries into the main battery. But this one here controls the BitMiner. And it is the relay in that box. What I'm going to do is I'm going to shut the BitMiner off, and then I'm going to go in and shut off I need to make sure you have audio too while I'm doing this here. And make sure, yes, you do. And so I'm going to shut the BitMiner off, click, and as you can hear, it just got silent in here. That basically just turns that off and on. It's as simple as that. Oh, and I didn't change the screen on you on that. Dang it. Let me turn this mode off here. So the picture and screen capture. So this was the one I was showing you guys, sorry. So I have basically a switch here for the BitMiner, and it just basically turns it off and on. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to this main picture here and show you a view of this where I'm going to pull this cover off. First I'm going to flip this breaker off. That way I know that's dead. And I'm going to pull that cover off and show you the relay, because those of you that I left hanging the other night, Monday I guess it was, got to see everything up to except the actual relay, which was the purpose of the whole video. So tonight I'm going to just show you, these are 220 outlets that run the BitMiner, and I'm just going to show you what I did to clean this up, and that way that's completely wrapped up and you understand what everything was. So this plate just covers a standard air conditioner relay is what I put in here, one for a 5-ton unit, which should have enough power on a 5-ton unit, which is 50 amps 220. I'm just going to move these charge inverter cables out of the way. 50 amp 220, which should give us enough power to run that BitMiner all day long. So that's kind of the cool part there. But as you can see here, let me just double check this and make sure this is dead. I never like reaching my hand into a box where, you know, the breaker's off, the power's off, everything clicked off, but that doesn't mean anything. Call me paranoid if you want, but I like my circuits dead when I'm working on them. So we're just going to push this here and here on this 220 set of plugs. And we are looking at a 0.5 millivolt. Okay, so that is dead. So let me show you, and I can pull this piece of it off here and this piece off here. And this is the Shelly device. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with this, but basically power comes into, can you see that? Oh yeah, you can see that pretty good. Okay, so power comes in through here, and I put a little 0.2 amp fuse on this because I used an air conditioner relay that supports 220 volts. I wanted to limit, if anything went wrong, that it popped really quick and easy. So it's a 0.2 amp to flip the relay in there, takes millivolts, so it should be more than enough to do the job, and it was. So you got a negative or a ground in this case, because there is no actual common wire that runs down that connects to this far right one. The live wire that comes in here that controls the switch, and then this one controls the pass-through, which is what the Shelly turns off and on. This you can configure with Home Assistant to turn off and on and control it. It doesn't actually flow the amperage for the bit miner through it or the switch itself. The switch itself is relayed from this big thing here, which is a 50 amp relay, and it basically takes care of that. Then you plug the power side in down on the bottom of this relay here, and the feed side or the load side to that one there. And when I'm going to turn this back on, I'm going to give that relay or that Shelly device a few minutes to reconnect to the Wi-Fi and everything here, because it does take a second for it to basically connect to the Wi-Fi and then allow Home Assistant to take control of it. But it won't take but a second, and then I'll demonstrate it being able to turn that off and on real quick, and then we will get on to the actual part that we're here for tonight, which is the low voltage cabinet that controls all the Home Assistant, the Solar Assistant, and all of them, and all the internet and everything here. I wanted to redo it with clean the wiring and stuff up in there. So we're going to go through and just do that. And I thought, what the heck, we'll bring you along. Monday was so much fun to have you guys around. So we did that. So let me switch this over to, let's see if I can get the Stream Deck to work tonight. The other night it wasn't working. Oh, it's working great tonight. Okay. So here's what I'm going to do. I am going to go over to this screen here, and I am going to, here we are, switch this to that. Huh. Well, it says it's connected, but it's not. Connected via Wi-Fi. Yeah, so it says. That's crap. It upgraded, but okay, no big deal. I'll just manually change it. So let me change this over to screen capture. Uh-oh. I am frozen on these screens. Means this thing, oh, there it goes. Maybe that took care of it? No, it did not. Well, that's not good. I'm stuck on these screens. I guess I am not allowed to change tonight. That's no fun. I wanted to be able to move around like I was supposed to be able to do. I thought I had it all working. Oh, there it goes. Okay. When in doubt, just reboot. All right. So this is the bit miner thing. So I'm going to hit it, and you should be able, if I get down here real close to it, I'm going to put this microphone down there. I'll set this microphone right here. You can see, and when I turn the switch on, it says it's connected. No, this isn't connected either. What the hell is going on tonight? And my browser's not working. I think I need to shut this connection here down. That seemed to be what caused it to restart a few minutes ago. Didn't like that at all. So, never seen that before. Very odd. Can't click on any of the windows. but I do have it where you guys can see it all now, don't I? Alright, we're going to try this one more time, and then we'll get out of here. On with the rest of this. See if that switched me back to the primary screen. Did. Go to screen here with the primary over there, which isn't what I want either. Alright, so we're going to go here to the primary and what in the heck is going on here? It's very odd. Sorry guys, I don't know what to tell you. Grab my microphone again so you can at least hear me. Alright, the heck with that. We're going to get on with just doing what we were here to do, which is basically we're coming up here to work on this box, and I am going to zoom in on this box here, and we are going to, before we close that roof off there, we are going to clean up all of the wiring in here, which is what this one's all about. I just want to kind of make it a little bit nicer to in there to work on. And so let's see if you can get it, if you've got a good enough view of it to do. I would say not really. Let's move this camera over here a little bit, get you a little bit better view. Let's see, right about there. Oh, that's much better. All right, now I might get in the way a bit from here, a little bit here and there, but that's okay. So you can see here, I got internet that comes in and out here. It comes in here from above and over out into the house to basically, well, it just does not want to work no matter what I do. I don't understand why. It's very frustrating. All right, whatever. Anyway, so what we will do is we will, I don't have any computer control at all. I can't move screens or anything, and I don't understand why. I'm assuming this camera, something's got to be the problem here, and I don't know what it is. Trying to fix it real quick and see if we can have a normal connection here, but it is not responding. I mean, nothing is responding. I can't get to my windows. I can't change my screens. I can't get to anything except this view. So this is the view we're going to use. You guys are going to have to chat and tell me if you can hear everything okay and if everything's working all right. So anyway, internet comes in here. I'm going to have to be a little bit careful. This over here is 120 and I don't have the cover yet for it. So what I'll probably do is, and I have to leave this, I went ahead and routed these two over here, but I ran the wires just so I would have internet, because without this I don't have internet. So we're going to leave the 110 piece of it out, but we're going to disconnect all of the internet cables down here. You can see here I've got 3 USBs wired into a 48 volt feed here. Actually, this is a 12 volt feed that comes from this little device over here that steps down the 48 volt into 12 volt. And that way I don't have to worry about the power going out on the inverter. I can work on the inverter without the power going out, which is kind of nice. That makes it a little bit easier for me to turn things off and set things up and that kind of stuff, even when I don't have, you know, an inverter on. I can run it that way. So I'm just going to get cranking on it. I'll look back every now and then to see if there's any kind of text messages or anything going on. You guys feel free to chat amongst yourselves and yell out if you have some good suggestions. I'm thinking about wondering if these hinges come off, which would be kind of cool if they did. Thought they did, but it doesn't look like they do. Wouldn't that be nice if they did? I don't understand what these clips are for if these hinges don't come off, though. What are they attempting to... I don't know. It would be nice if they came off so I could open it up and get to it. This is perforated, so it kind of allows it to breathe. But I think eventually I'm going to end up having to put some fans in it to let some air breathe through. I don't know. That's the best I can do. I'm not great at this cleaning, making things look pretty and clean. So that's kind of something I like to focus on a little bit. So I'm going to try to use some of these tracks here and maybe run the wires across in these tracks like this and clean them up that way. And then maybe run some down off the sides over there and clean that up that way. Cleaning up these internet Ethernet cables is going to be the good one. I'm going to have to get the right sizes of Ethernet cables, and maybe I'll put them in a raceway running down and just have them all drop down and pigtail out whichever way they want, and then attaching these to the side. This one has the Victron wires connected to it, which has to be connected over here. So you can see the two Victrons, they come down and connect over here, one to the charge controller here, and the other one to the shunt way over here. Now the shunt isn't too much of a problem because that cable is easy access and it's long enough. I could just, run it across the bottom and up into here. That one might be long enough if I mount this Raspberry Pi like right here in this corner. I might be able to, it might be long enough to reach it and get to it there. So we're going to kind of have to see. But it's the only one that I have with any wires that run off that way, other than this bit miner with this blue Ethernet cable here. And it's only over there right now because down here, when I finish this, what I want to do is right next to where this is, we will take the, right next to where this is, I'm going to put a vent right here with some air conditioning, dryer vents outside that just flap open when it's ejecting. And I'm going to build a little box around this with a nice filter on the front so that it can suck the air in through the filter and then eject the hot air out the back. And it should work just fine for the bit miner and get it out. Nice thing is I switched today to mining what do they call it? Oh, what is the name of that stupid thing? It's called something or other, some kind of Bitcoin of some kind, not Bitcoin itself, but it's what is the name of this thing? Digibyte. And believe it or not, I got 1,366 coins mined today. That thing was just rocking. I had a really lucky day. It was basically popping coins out. Popped out one this morning as soon as I woke up. And then it popped out another one about noon. And then at a few minutes till 5, it popped out a third one. And I thought, holy cow. And then at 5 minutes after or so, it popped out another one. And I'm like, whoa, that's really, really nice. Hit 4 in one day is just amazing. So let's get on with it. Otherwise, we're going to be here all night. All right. I think if I zoom this in just a little bit here, you guys will be able to see just fine. About like that, hopefully. And hopefully, hopefully you guys can see anyway, right? Yeah, there's a few. All right, let's see. It looks like I got my screen back. So whatever I did to give me my screen back, I am thankful for that. So I'm not going to mess with it too much. I'm just going to use it to adjust what I need to. All right, so let's see if we can do the picture-in-picture. That's really not the one I want. I want this one here. There we go. That's a much better. What camera is that anyway? Oh, that's this camera here. Okay. So that's a much better view. That'll give us both the box and a picture where you can actually see me and everything. So, and I can also see a chat window from here. So, all right, guys, let's just get going and we'll get started on this. My bandwidth looks like it's a little bit low. Is it choppy out there? Can you guys hear me okay? I hope it. I hope I don't have an internet problem out here. I've got gigabyte network inside, and I was able to run HD. I had to tone it down a little bit instead of 4K to run just normal HD. So I'm wondering if I've got an internet problem out here. Anyway, let's get started. I'm just going to pull off all these Ethernet cables first, and this will shut down practically everything that's going on here. Well, it won't shut it down. It'll just keep me from being able to monitor it for the time being. I've got them all bundled up and wired up and all that kind of stuff, but they, now I'm going to pull this power cord here, get it out of here, and I'm going to pull this Ethernet here and get it out of here, and it has this long, giant power cord connected to it. We'll get rid of it. All right, big, giant bundle of cords. All gone. Now, I bought some new cords. Just some little, these are just like little short ones, you know, where I can just like run it from here down to there and not have to worry about having this giant cord hanging from it. And so I should be able to just plug that in, and yeah, that works just fine. But I switched to these. I like this so much better because I don't have to worry about if I've got 110 or not. It just runs without it, you know, which is kind of really convenient. So these are 3 USB ports, and each one has 2 USB-C and a USB 3.0. And between the enough power to run multiple of these units, I'm going to switch these two over also. This one runs on 5 volts, which means I can wire it into a USB plug. And this one runs off of 12 volts, which means I can run it straight off of the 12 volt that comes in. So once I switch that over, I should have Ethernet and everything with no 110 in here, 120 voltage needed at all, which that'll be kind of cool. I won't have to be dependent upon anything going down or crashing or anything like that. So that's kind of the idea there. Now let's see, what I was thinking about doing first is kind of moving these to underneath inside this chamber. So in order to do that, I need to remove a couple of the little clip that I put in here. I put these little clips in here in an attempt to clean things up, and it just didn't come out near looking very neat, you know? And I think that might need to come down just a little bit. So let's just pick that up. It'll cover up the screw holes because I will have moved it down. So we can drop that down maybe there. I probably should measure that before I screw it back in, but too late now. All right, that takes care of that. Now let's see if we can get something back behind there that this can actually run these wires in. That's really what looks really ugly here, is that there's nothing holding any of these wires. So I take that and I just need to snip right about here, a little window for these to get through. So I'm just going to take this and just snip a tiny bit that direction and a tiny bit this direction, and then fold that flap down and snip it off. And that should allow for that cable to mount, or this thing to mount right up to that. And then that will allow me to hide those wires up in there, nice and flat all the way across. Yeah, one thing I did do is when I mounted this, I still mounted it up too damn high. I should have measured when I did it. Oh well, live and learn, right? Yeah, let's see if we can. All right. Now that should hold that really well. These, I don't know what I'm going to do with this down here. I mean, this looks dangerous, but it's only 12 volts. It's not a major, and it's fused for measly, you know, point 0.1 amps or something. Oh, no, it's not. It's fused for like 5 amps, so no big deal. I'm trying to figure out here. Yeah, that looks good right there. So if I did that, I'm wondering if I should build something around this section, just maybe another box like this one, and have this come out the bottom, or what can I do around this area is what I really want to know. I don't really have any ideas for it, so I don't think I'm going to do anything with it tonight. I think I'll think about that one a little bit more. Maybe you just get an electrical box of some kind. They have a lot of those boxes like this for regular electrical, and I wouldn't dare use this one. I mean, that would be really, really ugly. But they sell, you know, maybe a white plastic box for just a junction box of some kind. They might have some of them that are similar enough to that to work with it. Something like that. If any of you guys have any ideas, just leave a comment out there. It would be helpful. I'm thinking if I put this here and then maybe another, it says this thing's got some corners in it. So let's look and see what we got for corners here. Oh yeah, look at that. Okay. I don't know what this thing cost. I think it was like 10 bucks or something. So if I put a corner here, oh yeah, look at that. If I use that corner, then I don't even need another piece. I can just run that just like that. And then run this down to here with another piece going down. I can just trim one of these off to come down like this. What is that corner? Is there a bottom and a top, or just a top? Oh, there is a, I don't know. Let's see. What we got here. They are, actually, you know, I'm not sure it's either. Oh, it's a cap. It's not actually the inside corner. Oh, I wonder if there's other pieces to this. So it's just a cap for the junction piece. It just covers the junction, nothing more. There is no under piece to it. So you line the corners up, and then, so I would need to use one of these to get it over to the corner, and then one of, that's interesting. Okay, so that becomes a cap joiner cap to go over the top. To join two together, I'm thinking. But you already have a top, so why do you need, the corner ones I understand, it's these I don't understand, the ones that go on together. What are they doing here? Are they just, is it merging them together? It does, it covers them. So you could put two on top of each other without a seam. That's why it does it. Okay. So that means that I need to take a second one of these and run over to the corner and then one down. So I could probably use the same one if I take this and run it over into the corner, which is practically right here. I'm just going to trim this here. And then trim it on the same side, on the same place on the other side here, and then cut it across. Seems a bit, oh, you know what? I could probably use a razor blade would probably be the best bet here. Let's see if I got, where I put it. I had it out this afternoon working on the panels fuse. All right, so I'm going to take this and I'm just going to take this and cut this across here. Okay. And then that will take me into the corner. And then the only thing I want to do is cut it at a little bit of an angle, 45 degrees preferably. But considering this is going to be under that cover, it almost doesn't matter, really. You just need enough for the wires to get around the corner. There we go. So that, yeah, let's get this up in here. All right, so this will go like this, all the way across. And then another piece comes from that corner and goes down, and we'll use this corner to cover it all completely up there. That should look pretty nice. Okay, so let's do the piece going down. I'm thinking I cut this one at the 45-degree angle from this side, going this way. It's much easier to cut with the dikes if you can get to it easily. If you can make a nice, neat, clean cut. But when I tried to cut that first one across, when you're going to use both sides of it, then you don't want to bend it and stuff. So that was kind of problematic. But this worked really well this way. And then I'm just going to drag this down. And what I might do is just let this go all the way down and just move this out, just like I did move this one down. And that way I can put the wire coming out of the back side of this, just like I did the other one. And if I decide to add another one at some point, if I end up with more equipment in here, or when I switch over the out of the power coming up here to these, if I end up pulling up enough, I got 240 watts max that come out of that device. It's fused for a little bit less than that right now, so I'll have to up the fuse on it. But I could theoretically run another one of these to power all of this too. But I don't need to. I don't have it mounted yet, so I'll just leave this entire thing there intact. Maybe I will put another piece to go all the way to the floor. That's actually a good idea. We'll take it all the way down to the bottom corner, and that will allow the wires to be. Oh, you know what? I could go all the way around the edge. And that would allow me to put the Ethernet wires in those boxes also. Oh, that's an interesting idea. I don't know if those are big enough. But if I have one here for like the home assistant and the solar assistant and the so we take the solar assistant. Let me just see what we got here. So if we take the solar assistant and it was like mounted here, and the home assistant and it's mounted here, and the, wow, that is really dirty. I don't know where all this dirt came from. All these drilling and holes and stuff in here. All right, so then we take this and we put this over there, and that would look really good like this. Solar assistant here. I may need to flip these based on where the plugs are. So the USB plug is here, so I could put solar assistant here, but then I got then I got power, then I've got the need for Ethernet to run up. And so it's going to need to run up here. And I could do the same with this one. Oh yeah, that's perfect. I could run it like this and have the Ethernet here also. And both of these could come off of a strip coming down from right here. Now we're thinking. If these are big enough to hold all the cables, but I think they'll hold a couple of Ethernet cables and a thing. So let's see where we get. Now, the problem is with these cases is there is no real way to mount these things that I've found. At least no good way that I've seen to do it. So I'm thinking maybe the best thing I could do is just do like I did with this one here, is just wrap it with a zip tie and then zip tie it to the wall. And that at least keeps it in a good position. Now I do have a problem of this. Will this go over? Oh, look at that. Fits perfectly. But the Ethernet cable won't, but it will. Okay, so I just got to be real careful when I do that to do it that way, because I'm going to have problems with these boards. What I might do is change it to like this. And even though that cable has to come out and turn, it still would be a little bit better than that. And maybe I can put an extra one here. You know, I'm trying to think ahead here for the future. Put another one there. And then you could even put one down this back wall like we were originally going to do on the other side. And that way I just have runs that go all the way around. What do you think? I think that'll look good. What do you think? And maybe one day when I have enough patience, I could convert all of this into that and just have just that yellow wire there sticking out. And then cover that up, and the rest of it, all of this could fit into one of these compartments. It would just take some real careful tucking. This is solid wire coming out of here, so that one and that one are solid. They're 20 amp, solid 20 amp electrical wire for a real electrical plug. So I know they're good and strong and they'll carry the wattage that I needed. But at the same time, all right, so let's just get started here. Let's get this show on the road. So if I do this here, then the only thing I'm going to have to do is put a track coming down here and a track coming down here. Those will be pretty easy. So if I mark that with wow. I need a Sharpie is what I need. I'm going to mark that with cut here and a cut here. And then on this side, I'm going to do the same thing right down the middle. And we're going to mark this with a cut here and a cut here. Then I'm going to pull this out and clean up those two opening chambers to get the wires in. That didn't trim all off the way it was supposed to. All right, and then this one over here, the same thing. Trim it here, here, and here. Okay. All right, so if I put that there, I think I'm going to go ahead and push this into place, because then I can start putting all the other pieces in place with it. And here's where mistakes start to cost you a lot. So I need to make sure that this is right in the middle of that USB and that it's level. And then push it on all the way across. And hope that I don't get a message from you guys saying, oh, you put that on crooked, you need to fix it. And then this piece, I'm going to do the same with it. I'm gonna leave just a tiny gap there because it's a little bit short, but at the same time, I got these edges that cover everything. So really it's not gonna be an issue. And I'm gonna pop this one off. Okay. And then we're going to take the angled one here. And I'm going to leave it just a tiny bit out from the wall because, sorry about that, unplug the internet. All right, sorry about that, I unplugged the internet. I said that, and then I reached in there and unplugged it. I can unplug the one on the bottom, but if I unplug the one on the top, you can't hear me or see me. So I'll leave that one plugged in. I won't do that again. What I was saying is I'm going to leave a little bit of a gap here so that I can get the lid on. So let's see how far down we need to go for this to actually fit. I need to get it out of that. Okay. Go around that corner. It needs to have enough slack to where it actually can make it all the way down here and comfortably in. So we're going to say right about here. And I'm just going to cut the little door here for the wire to go through to get to the USB connector. All right. So, and I don't know how many of you guys are already subscribers. I want to thank all of you and kind of celebrate a little bit. You guys are amazing. I hit 18,000 subscribers earlier this week on Monday, and that is just incredible. I really appreciate it. It's kind of amazing that I can't find the stupid. Huh. What is going on with this thing? I'm having all kinds of difficulties with the internet and with the connection here tonight, so I will try to get that resolved for our next one. And apologize to you guys for it. I still can't find what I'm looking for. Here it is. All right. Thank you guys for all the subscribers. I really appreciate it. It's really nice of you to keep supporting me like this and to keep bringing new members in and keep showing up. This live thing is kind of new. I don't know if I'll keep doing it the way I've been doing it. It wasn't my original plan to do lives like this, but they kind of grow on you, just kind of showing you the raw footage of what's going on here. And then so that part of it I kind of like the raw footage and all that, so it's been kind of nice with that piece of it. At the same time, oh, that's actually going to work really nice. At the same time, I don't know if it's the preferred method, if you guys are liking it or not. I haven't gotten a whole lot of feedback on it yet, so we'll have to wait and see what kind of feedback we end up with about how we like it, or if we like it at all, or if we don't like it, or whatever the case may be. Huh, that's interesting. And then do a real live shocking here. Ooh, keep my plug out of that. That's 120. You don't want to be messing with that. Although the ground fault on this 6000 XP is just fantastic. I hit it the other day. Hit something. I don't even remember what it was. And all I saw was a tiny spark. I thought, wow, that was interesting. I'm glad I didn't hit that hard. Come to find out, it was the ground fault of the inverter that shut the circuit off, the whole circuit. And I didn't even notice that's what had happened. All right, I'm at a loss here. What am I doing wrong? Oh, I see. I got to put them in that groove. Oh, okay. I guess that holds on better that way, doesn't it? There we go. Oh, wow. That's going to look pretty good, isn't it? What do you guys think? Not too bad. I cleaned it up nicely. And then we do a little piece for the corner here. And I'll take this piece here for piece for the corner. Clip that way. And I'll use the clip side to make the angle corner. That way the factory, nice clean factory cut is hoping I can use that corner as an exit on this. Huh. It does go all the way out, but I'm going to try. I hope I don't ruin the corner. Oh, wasn't what I wanted. Really wasn't what I wanted. It kind of cracked it a little bit, but now I have the ability to put all of that stuff in the corner going out that way. So let's take this and create the other angle. And I'm sure if I did this about a half a dozen times, I would get better at these corners and making them look even better and all that kind of stuff. And I am just not good at this kind of stuff, which is why I kind of find myself trying to do it more and more so that I can get that clean look out of it, or start to try to get that clean look out of as many things as I can. I'm just going to spread this cable out a little bit going down. See if I can get it all under in here. Hide the whole thing. Like that. Like that. And then slide that up. Push that into the corner. Like that. And then put this corner on that corner. And this cap on that spot. There. I don't know. What do you think? Looks pretty good, doesn't it? I mean, I cleaned up all of the wires coming across. Now we can mount the ones going down here too, which is going to be kind of cool. So we'll take this. Let's mount the two coming down. From here. And then the other one will mount from here, coming down on this side. All right. Now, I want to go ahead and finish this down to the bottom here. Then I'm going to go ahead and cut the corner out to go across the bottom, even though today we won't be running anything across the bottom, at least not this second. I mean, hell, before I'm done here, maybe we will. Just get this over here all the way down. And piece of the top to go all the way into that corner. I want to cut that crooked. And then this can run all the way down into that corner. And we'll put one of these pretty little caps on that piece in the middle. Okay. All right, so now let's think about mounting some equipment. Now we have Ethernet cables to still run, but I think I'm going to buy some really short Ethernet cables, like I bought these USB cables here, because these things are super short. That one can run with one of them. That one can run with one of them, and this one can run with one of them. They're nice and short, and I don't have to worry about doing anything with them other than just getting them. So what I'm thinking is using these white zip ties. I don't like it, but it seems to be effective for attaching this stuff to the wall. So all I do is basically wrap it with a zip tie, and then it's going to be just big enough. I need two. Put two on this one. Wrap this. And when you do this, you want to make sure you leave just enough room to get a screw in both sides of it. So put one there, and then roll this one down to match it like that is what I usually do. That's close. And just tighten it up just a little here and a little here. That should work. And then trim these off. I think I decided to go like this. And we're going to bring power from that side. And we're going to bring see if this is, it just plugs in. So we're just going to set this here for now. We'll put this over here. Let's get some screws and get that mounted. I like these big feathered screws for these things. All I have is, oh, here they are. I have to hold. Where did I put them? I don't know what I did with them all. I lost a whole tray of screws. I don't know where. They're over here. We're on top of the cameras. Okay. Let me get this out of the way. And let's take a couple of these. I like these screws with these big heads because with them, they hold on to they hold on really well. I'm just going to bring this. I'm thinking I'll bring this way down here because the shortest Ethernet I'm going to be able to find is 6 or 8 inches, and if I get one that's 1 foot, it'll reach down here, and that cable reaches down here just fine. So I don't think it'll hurt to have this down here. And then I'm not really fond of this way of attaching it. I might find if I got some of that blue tape and use it. But that said, that works really well. I mean, it really does. No real complaints there. And then I don't have the Ethernet cable today, so I'm not, or the short one, so I'm not going to be able to run the normal one even in this thing because it's so damn long. So I'm just going to put the cover on this for now. And the same for this one. This one I'm going to have to mount a little bit differently. I think I'll mount it like this, and we'll drill a hole for these cables to run in from the bottom. And it needs Ethernet also. It's down here on the bottom, so it can run up and around that way. So that should work out fine. So I need to drill a hole right there. We'll just drill a nice little hole there. Those are big USB port cables, so I'm going to need to drill a big hole. So I'm going to drill a 1-inch hole right up against the edge here, right about here. Just going to slide this underneath to catch as much of this as I can. Actually, I'm not going to catch most of it because I'm going to end up breaking something. Wow, got myself tangled up in that one, didn't I? All right. So now we're just going to drill this hole right about here. All right. That made a sufficient mess. Ripped through the bottom of this too. Damn it. Not really what I wanted to do. Okay. Too late now. All right, so now let's take these two USBs. We'll put them up through here. And they connect directly to this Raspberry Pi running the Venus system. And that connects to this power cord. And this one connects to this power cord. And that one over there, Solar Assistant. Let's do the same with it. Let's get a pair of almost out of these white zip ties with the little hooks on the end to screw down. I kind of like them. They're handy, but they just don't look as nice as some of the other options. But what can you do? All right, so I got power on this side, Ethernet on that side. I think if I mount it like this, I can bring the power in from over there, bring the Ethernet in from over there. Should be pretty simple. just take that like that. And that should be it. All right, we'll trim the extra and take a few of these screws. Put them in there. And we will create us a, we're going to create us a little Raspberry Home Assistant one here. Venus over there. All right, let's do Home. Assistant. Put a couple spaces. And print. All right, so I'm going to take these, trim them to the right size. Hope you guys are still there. We'll put this up a little bit higher because I don't think I'm going to leave it down that low. I might pull that one up just a little bit to attach it there. May have made those zip ties a little too tight on that one side. Yep, I did. All right. Just use the one for now. That ain't gonna work. Well, hell. Yeah. I don't know how I managed to save one of those zip ties, but that is the epitome of cheap. I didn't have enough to do it if I didn't. That was the problem. Huh. Either way, it worked. And one more to hold this. And then we got most of this cleaned up. I mean, okay. We'll reroute those when we get the cords for it. All right, so I basically need Ethernet cable, 1, 2, 3. Power cords are done, Wi-Fi is done, everything's connected. So I need to connect this to this, this to all 3 of these. And we got a system back up and running again. So let's give it a shot. Let's see if we can wrap this up. I only got these long cords. I debated waiting, but then decided I didn't want to wait and have to do all of it when a couple of cords came in. So we'll just use these giant Ethernet cords to do this. So first we need to route this one to this one. And that is live. And then we need to route this one from way over here to way up here. I'm just trying to check the lights. And that one went up. These last 2 aren't even plugged in yet, so I'm not going to be able to have any lights to check them with, but let's put that one in here. And this one in. Now most of these will connect through Wi-Fi, but I have found that they are much more responsive when they're not connected through Wi-Fi, when they're all wired in. And I think a lot of that is if you have one, everything's fine. But when you have, a half a dozen of them, like this, and then the other system over on the other side of the room, the test system over there, and all of its connections, and it just kind of starts getting a little bit more messy. And then this one here. All right, so now we've got much cleaner. We still need to run these cables in the raceways, but we'll do that when we get the short Ethernet cards. Everything looks nice and clean now. Oh, I didn't hook up the Zigbee devices. Let's just see if we can squeeze this down here and Ethernet cable's in the way. There we go. There it goes. All right. Everything's nice and wired in now. Let's see if we can switch this view over to screen capture view. And we will go into Home Assistant here. And it hasn't come back up yet, so we're going to give it just a second. See how long it takes for it to come back up. That's going to be this one here. It is booting up. We'll give it a minute. Looks like the Victron system is already running. The Solar Assistant looks like it might be running. Let's just check the Solar Assistant and see if it's up and running. Yep, it looks like it is. All right. And then, and here's the Digibyte. Here's my coins, 5 blocks today. And, well, actually, it was 4 today. But that's kind of amazing. And then, oh, there goes Home Assistant. We'll give that just a second, and that should start to come online. Everything should come back up online. I see the Victron data here. I see some from the 6000 XP. That's good. That means the solar assistance there. Oh, there it goes. It's saying that everything will be available when this finishes coming up. Okay, so these are all the battery statuses. Oh, here they're starting to fill in. That's good. I see the Victron on the right. The lead time. There goes the eco-worthy batteries, and there goes the generic Chinese batteries. So looks like everything's running there. Let's just go through a few screens, make sure I have everything here. Looks like all the switches, the lights, the plug, even the coffee trailer showed up. All right, so that means everything's running. I'm going to turn back on the bit miner. Click. And, oh, you know what I didn't do with the bit miner? Is I didn't plug it in. I heard the power come on. I'm going to shut it off. And we're going to take the two 20 plugs. Plug them both in down here. And we're going to have to run this cable way up here. Didn't even think about that one. Wonder if it'll fit through here. Much better. And then when I move that box down there, it can just drop straight down on the floor through it. Okay, that's good. Now I can close that, and all of the equipment is nice and clean and in there. Bit miner on. Oh, I heard it come on. We will give it a few minutes here for it to boot up. I think you can still see that, right? Yep. Right. Well, that ain't right. There we go. All right, so server's connected. Gonna take a few minutes for this to boot back up. Hopefully you guys can see me and hear me on this. Yeah, okay, good. All right, so we will just wait for that to come back up. Looks like this is here, the bit miner's on. We can take a look at the power draw for it. It's at 880 watts, which means that's going to start powering up here shortly, because it usually jumps from like 100 to a couple hundred straight to 400 on both L1 and L2, which there's the 400 right before it juices up. Okay. We got all three CPU boards up. They're not hashing yet, but they will be soon. All right. It looks like we've pretty much got everything working the way we wanted it to. We got the board running. We got it up and configured. It turned out really nice. I'm pleased with the way everything came out. We got the bit miner plug down there taken care of. I showed you how it comes off and on. I think we got everything working the way I want it to for tonight. It is been a short live stream, about an hour or so. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope it was something to do anyway on a Wednesday night. I haven't never done a live stream on a Wednesday night with you guys before, so hopefully you found something with it. Hopefully you enjoy it. Hopefully on the next live stream we can have a little bit better internet. I don't know what's going on with my internet out here. I'm going to have to figure it out. It's connected live, so I shouldn't be having a problem with it. But famous last words, you know, as soon as you say you're not going to have a problem with it, this is what happens. So I was running 980 megabytes and 50 megs up from the inside through the same hub, so I know that's not it. So the only thing I can think of is maybe the connection, the hot wire that comes from the house. Maybe there's something there that's disconnected, that's not connected correctly. I can check that. As a matter of fact, I could probably do a bandwidth test right here, right now, just kind of get an idea if that's what it is. Net speed, net, oops, .bet, that's not what I want. .net, that's not right. What the hell am I doing? Net speed, speed test.net, that's what I want. All right, so on Spectrum Orlando, that's correct. Let's hit go. Well, that ain't the problem, is it? Download speeds is not the issue. So what about upload speeds? And that should not be a problem either. So what in the heck is going on that prevents me from being able to get a decent throughput here? I must have a setting somewhere in here wrong. I'll get it figured out, make sure that next time we have good speed and that there's no problems. Anyway, guys, I really appreciate you coming out on a Wednesday night, hanging out with me. I have never done a Wednesday night. Oh, look at that, bit miner's up. It's mining again. And I got 4 today. Let's hope I can get a few more. Maybe before the day's over. A little bit of a gap here when we were working on this. So, all right. I think I'm going to sign off for the night. Wish you guys a happy new year. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for watching. Thank you for everything that you guys do. I really appreciate it. It's good to have you all here. And thank you so much for over 18,000 subscribers. It's been fantastic. It's just wonderful having you all around. And thanks again. We'll see you next week. Next week I am in Atlanta at a show, so I will not have a show next week. I just thought about that. I've got a couple of videos planned, so I'll get a couple of those released. We've got some monitoring coming out. I got a home monitoring system that we're going to be doing. I've got a battery that connects directly with the Victron Servo GX coming out to a smart battery for that, and a couple of other miscellaneous things. So we'll get those out. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. And we'll see you next time. And I'll keep mining and keep you updated how it goes. It's a great way to use all the extra solar. Talk to you later.